I don't feel like doing my hair, so this is what we're gonna roll with. Okay, just deal with me, right? Oh, and I'm wearing a green shirt on a green screen. Hopefully it doesn't cause problems either. Okay, so you have been doing some pulls on the weapon banner, which I don't think you should be if you are new to the game, and you get Favonius Codex. So in this video, we are going to talk about Favonius Codex, who it can be good for, its stats, what it does, things like that. So this does get up energy recharge as its main stat, meaning this is going to be good for a lot of characters that want to use their bursts. Its passive crits have a 100% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles, which will regenerate 6 energy for the character. Can only occur once every 6 seconds. This is at R5. At R1, it is 60% chance every 12 seconds. So this is much, much better with refinements because you can guarantee that extra energy. So because of the passive, you do want to build crit rate on your characters. You can see Yanfei here has nearly 70% crit rate, so it's not going to be difficult to trigger this passive. We are going to show this weapon in action to show you the energy and how it is the extra stuff, right? Now, you're going to notice some energy flying around, and I'm going to specifically show which energy is coming from this weapon's passive. It is going to be the energy that originates around the character. So in this instance, whenever Yanfei uses her skill, she is going to generate some red energy. That is not the passive, that is from her skill. If it originates from around her and it's white, that is going to be from this passive. So as we run through here, you are going to see a lot of energy flying around. Some of it's going to be from enemies dying. If an enemy does die, it is going to originate from the enemy spot and fly to Yanfei. If it originates from Yanfei's position, it is going to be from the passive of this weapon, not from killing an enemy or from her skill or anything like that. It is going to be from the passive of Favonius Codex. That is the extra energy going to her. Because it's R5, anytime that we crit once every 6 seconds, we will get that extra energy, so it is going to help keep her burst more ready to go. So now we're going to look at some different characters that this weapon can be good for. Now, this weapon does require a balance. For instance, you do need crit rate on the character using it to consistently trigger the passive. However, you do need to build the other stats as well. This does get up energy recharge, so it's really going to be good for if you have good crit rate or you already have a good crit split and you already have whatever stat they need, but you're missing the energy recharge. This weapon's going to be good for them. So first we're going to look at Lisa. Now, if you're not using Thrilling Tales, which is also going to appear in this video quite a few times because it is one of the best support catalysts in the game, and you need energy recharge so that way you can use Lisa's burst, which drops the defense of the enemies, then Favonius Codex can be very, very good for her to get her burst more readily available. If perhaps you have her with a character that won't appreciate the attacks whenever you swap into them, then Favonius Codex can be a very good option for Lisa. Next, we have Barbara. If you are not using Thrilling Tales, which does get up Barbara's HP, which is very, very good. If you're particularly using her for maybe like you want her burst for the team-wide healing, right? In a Farina team, perhaps, then this can be a good option for her. Or if you've like sacrificed all of your Thrilling Tales without knowing how good they were, then this weapon can be very, very good for somebody like Barbara. Next is going to be Sucrose, especially if you want her to group more with her burst and her burst get that elemental absorption. Then this can be good for her if you have a ton of EM on her already. You want to build Sucrose with EM. However, you would have to sacrifice EM to get crit rate, or you would just have to get like unarconly rolls on your substats to get her crit rate high enough to consistently trigger the passive, but it still can be good for her. Next, we have Mona. Now, Mona is another user typically of Thrilling Tales, but a lot of Mona's utility lies in her burst. So this can be a very good option for Mona to use to just consistently have her burst ready to go, so your other characters will be doing more damage. You notice it's mainly support characters that might be using this, or characters that rely on their bursts. Next, we have Yaimiko. It is not going to be that great of an option on Yaimiko. Yes, Yaimiko's energy requirements are super high. You typically run her with a battery anyway, and you want to get just ER through substats. This won't be that great of an option on Yaimiko. Could be. I wouldn't recommend it. If you have Widzith, just run Widzith. Run something with Elemental Mastery, not necessarily Favonius Codex. Next is going to be Charlotte. This is going to be a character that you really have to balance it correctly if you use it on Charlotte, right? Because Charlotte gets a lot of healing through her burst, but her healing is based on attack. So you really have to make sure that you have enough attack and crit rate to trigger the passive of this weapon, where you only really need ER, right? Like if you have the balance between the attack and the crit rate and you're a little low on ER, then you can run this weapon instead of something like Skyward Atlas, which would be better for her healing, but you may not be able to use her burst as often. Next is going to be Cloud Retainer, and she's in a very, very similar boat as Charlotte, where you have to have the balance between the attack for her healing and the crit rate to trigger the passive, and you're in just in some need of ER. Maybe you're not necessarily using her for a ton of healing, but you want a little bit of healing. Then something like Favonius Codex can be good, where you just really, really want to have her burst up as much as possible. Last is going to be Baiju. Baiju is another character where you have to have the balance, right? This would just kind of fit in for the energy recharge, just to have his burst up more often and more consistently. That is going to be it for this video. If you do have any questions, you be sure to leave it down in the comments. Myself or somebody else, be sure to answer it, and I will see you in the next video. Don't mind the hair. I know. I just got off work. I just got home and I was like, crap, I gotta film a video. Forgive me for this one. Also, thank you to everybody for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Unfortunately, that means that I do have to start cosplaying at some point. So I'm going to be posting a poll in my Discord channel, so that way we can vote on who the first cosplay would be and at what level. So if you're not in the Discord, do be sure to join it. There's a link down below in my bio. I will see you in the next one.